Good morning. Morning, everybody. David and Kendra, we are here for our morning Swingers Club 6 a.m. kettlebell workout. And today we are going to work on the kettlebell snatch, which is one of the more difficult ones to wrap your head around and get going with, but it's actually one of the better kettlebell exercises, in my opinion. The Let's just go ahead and get to it, and I'll show you what it's about. Actually, before we do, Kendra and I were actually just talking about stretching and stretching before workout, and it's interesting though. Pavel, the sort of the kettlebell guru that brought these things here from Russia, didn't bring them here, but he popularized them here. His philosophy with regard stretching parallels the Russian athletics protocol, which is a little different than what we're used to here in the States. And you can take it for whatever, take for however you like, but their philosophy is that as long as your workout is starts out gradually and warms the body, the stretching should be done at the end, because it doesn't make a lot of sense to stretch the body when it's cold. Once the body is warm, once all the muscles are warmed up, all the synovial fluid in the joints is heated up to the point where the body has full and free motion. Then you do your stretching. This is the Russian protocol, and it may differ from what you're used to. I would recommend it if you're the kind of person that wants to stretch before your strength training, then definitely go ahead and get warmed up before we come on. And we'll probably add some stretching technique eventually to this, so that you guys get a little bit more value out of it. But we'll actually go into that at another point. We'll actually talk extensively about stretching and what flexibility means at some point. Actually, there's on my YouTube channel, on Sensei David Hill's YouTube channel, one of the videos is devoted to the meaning of flexibility, because a lot of people get it really wrong. In any case, we'll get started.
Good morning, everybody. Hello to everybody that's popped on this morning. Ruthie, Mike, Xavier, and hello to everybody on my Instagram channel. So we've got YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook going. And you are here at the 6 a.m. Swingers Club, which is a kettlebell workout. It's kind of funny, right? And hope everybody's having a wonderful Wednesday morning already at 6 a.m. here in the U.S. So let's get started.
Okay, so the technique that we're going to work on today is the snatch. And what that means is that you're going to take the kettlebell and snatch it from the ground all the way over your head in one motion. It's a combination of the swing, the high pull, because you're going to actually keep the you're going to pull the kettlebell back towards you, and the press. So it actually, I teach it in two pieces. The first piece, the power dynamic is exactly the same as every other technique. It starts from the snap of the hips. Instead of letting the arm come out in front of you, you're going to keep the elbow in, like you're going to bring it to the rack, right? When it gets to this point, the kettlebell is out here in front. I call this the flag, or the kettlebell here. I'll show you what it looks like. I'm not going to stop because you can't, but it's here, right? At the top of that position, I open my hand, which loosens the kettlebell, so that I don't end up with a handle stand, right? So that the kettlebell falls into this position where it's lying on the side of my arm, and I keep going up, and I spear my hand straight overhead. Looks like this. all one continuous motion. So,
All right, let's do it in two pieces though.
In two pieces.
They're just learning, right?
So let's do the first piece, which is what I call the flag, which is just a kettlebell swing. Keep your elbow in close.
I'm actually gonna just start with the swing.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, very nice. And you don't have to open your hands fully, but at the top, when you go to spear your hand up, you're gonna.
That was kind of slow.
Yep, as long. Yeah, exactly. You want to kind of think of it as just one motion.
Like, oops, I still start. You know why? Because the kettlebell's hitting my wrist.
Try the other hand.
And so it's, I know it's gonna be sore. But
Yes. So you're a little
Some-
apprehensive about it. Yeah, yeah. That kettlebell badge can be a little bit difficult in the beginning. All in one motion.
Still stopping. My bones in my head.
So this one takes a little bit of time. This is one of the ones, this technique takes a little bit more finesse than a lot of the other techniques. So it's going to take a bit to really work it
I'm
in.
gonna try to go light in there, just to get the motion.
Nice one.
So it's the lighter weight. The other one is a little too
Yep.
heavy until I get the.
Yep, sometimes it's definitely a good idea to use a lighter weight during the learning process. Beautiful.
So I like this one because it's working my lower, my core, and my upper body all at once.
Absolutely, absolutely. This technique is sort of the quintessential full body workout. It's hey John, Sacco, and Jeremy.
Good morning, everybody.
So anyway, so yeah, there's an interesting story actually. When these were first adopted, they were really first adopted by the U.S. military. When the Cold War ended, some of our special forces guys went and trained, did some cross training with the Spetsnaz, which is sort of like the Soviet special forces guys. And what we discovered was that there was the physical difference between the Soviet soldier and the American soldier was night and day. It was rather embarrassing. So they immediately adopted the same physical training techniques that they were doing, which was the kettlebell. And there's, so with the like I said, with the special forces people, this is well known. Kettlebell is a well known thing. It's really taking a while to trickle down into the rest of the population. But in any case, there's a set of kettlebells on Air Force One because the Secret Service uses this. In fact, the Secret Service has this elite team within the Secret Service, the counter assault team, and they have a physical test to see if you're eligible even to join the team. And the test is using a 53-pound kettlebell, which is a 1.5 poog. And anyway, the test is you have to do the snatch for 10 minutes without stopping.
With the 53
With a
pound.
53-pound kettlebell. And it doesn't matter how big you are, how small you are, male, female, it doesn't matter. It's the same kettlebell. If you can do 10 minutes of snatches without stopping, and they don't care how many you do, as long as you're continuously doing it. It's crazy. It is absolutely crazy. I actually adopted doing that as my workout with the 35-pound kettlebell, and that's enough. For a guy my size, that is absolutely enough. It's one of those things where they say the things that you're going to need to do it a kettlebell and a bucket, because you're gonna you are not gonna,
test you to your limits.
it's going to test you to your limits. They've actually talked about using it as a replacement for bench press reps in the NFL Combine, because it's a better indicator of all around strength of your body to be able to do 10 minutes of snatches. In any case,
we ready for the workout?
we are ready for the workout.
Okay.
All right.
Yay.
Oh, and I don't even have my sound on here. Okay. Just walking around with the headset on.
Just a little bit. Yeah.
All right. So put the kettlebell between your feet. Put the handle east and west. Reach down with 2 hands. Seat your shoulders. Sit your hips down. Get under the weight. Now drive into your hips to push up. And do 5 squats. Hips forward.
We're going 4.
5. Okay, now 5 swings. 1. Bring it down to rest. Bring it behind you. And turn sideways so you can see this. We're just going to let the kettlebell drop down because our hips are pushing forward. Stretching out the psoas muscle. Hip flexors. Back. All right. We're going to orbit the kettlebell around our body. Grip with your toes. Grip with your belly. 8, 9, 10. Reverse the direction. And bring the kettlebell up in front of you with the handle down. We're going to do something called the hot potato. You're going to bring it to one side, let go of the other hand, send it to the other side. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10. 10 more. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. Change your grip to holding it by the horns. 5 halos in each direction. 1, 2, 3, 5. Other way. 1, 2, 3. Bring it down. Keep the same grip. Start to swing the kettlebell back and forth. Now watch this before you do it. You're going to go all the way around and back. With me now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, Set it down. Nice. Excellent, excellent. Okay.
Good.
All right.
What's next?
So we're going to move on to swings. We're going to do 10 two-handed swings, and then we're going to do 20 alternating single arm swings. Here we go. Grab the kettlebell. 1, 2, changing hands now. 17, 18, 19, 20. Set it down.
Gets the blood going.
Absolutely. Okay. It's going to move on to the lower body. So we're going to go with some lunges. Bring the kettlebell up to the rack position. We're going to step forward and back. Stepping with the opposite leg that you have the kettlebell in. Stepping forward. Stepping back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Back up. Change hands. Stepping forward. And back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Set it down. Whew.
Sneaks up on you.
It does. Okay. We're going to try to do some of the snatches. So what we'll do is we're going to do, we're going to do 5 flags where fire the hip, bring the kettlebell up only halfway. We'll do 5 on this side, and then we'll do 5 on this side. We're going to go back to the first side. We're going to go all the way up.
Can we talk about what you saw me doing in the beginning, which I think as they're doing it as a new person. Remember, I had my hand out here.
Yeah.
I was trying to be level with my hips, but really what you want is
right, the midline
to be centered with your midline of your body.
Yeah.
So I just thought it was supposed to be out here, level with the hips. So keep an eye on that.
Yep.
When you
just imagine a line that just bisects your body straight down the middle. You want to bring the kettlebell. When the kettlebell's at the bottom of the swing, it's on the midline. Don't bring it out to the side. Keep it on the midline, just like you're doing your swings. Elbow in tight.
And I would suggest using a lighter kettlebell when you're first doing these to get the form down, which is what I'm doing. I'm using a smaller one just to get the form down, and then once I have the form down, then I can go a little bit heavier.
Yeah, it's a good idea to use a lighter weight during your training.
Because if you hurt yourself, you're not going to be training tomorrow. So
exactly. Okay, here we go. Starting with one hand, bring the kettlebell up. 5 swings. 1, 2, check your elbow. 3, check your midline. 4, 5. Change hands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Change hands. Now all the way up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Change hands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bring it in. Set it down.
I can go to the next one up now.
Yeah. Once you get it, it's like, oh, okay. So a couple of other points. At the top, my pinky is forward. Take this other hand, reach behind your head, grab the elbow, straighten the arm, and then pull it to your ear. One of the things that I like to do sometimes is bring my hand forward and around.
Turn around so they can see that side. Yeah.
Here to really pull it back and against my arm. You feel that?
So this is where it's supposed to be
Yes.
when you're. Because of our posture and that we've had throughout our whole lives, typically it's not like that. You have to train your body to.
Yeah.
So that's why he's saying if you do that, you can feel where it should be when your arm goes straight up.
It takes a good period of time to get your body loosened up to the point to be able to do this. Okay, let's move on, shall we? Grab your kettlebell. We're going to do some long cycles, so we're just going to go back to the swing to the rack and press. And bring it up to the rack position. Sit back into your hips, press it overhead. Return. Swing. Rack. Press. Return. Swing. Rack. Press. Return. Swing. Rack. Return. One more. Change hands. Two more. And set it down. So, your homework for tonight is actually going to do a little bit of study of anatomy. I want you to go on the internet and do a YouTube search on the rotator cuff. Become familiar with those muscles, because next week we're going to do a technique called the Turkish get-up, and I want you to have some preparation for that, because it's all about, well, it's not all about, but it involves a lot of understanding how the shoulder works. It is a shoulder rehabilitation exercise in itself. Most physical therapists worth their salt today use kettlebell as their therapeutic training tool because it is a functional movement screen in itself. You'll understand that a little bit more after next week when we go through it. We're actually going to spend the next couple of days doing one of the pieces of the kettlebell, one of the pieces that is in the Turkish get-up. Another exercise in itself. Can you grab the blue handle?
Yep.
When we learned the kettlebell swing, we learned to keep our back straight. So in other words, not bending our back when we pick things up. right? You take something straight like this stick. If I hold it against my back, it'll touch my tailbone, the middle of my back, and the back of my head. This is my swing form. At no point am I bending here or in the mid-back or in my tailbone. If I was to bend to the side, I'm going to turn my feet and keep my back straight as well. This is what we're going to do today. We're going to set the kettlebell down. We're going to put it next to one foot. So I have the kettlebell at my feet. Let me see if I can see this with all the cameras. Well, fix this one just a bit more. So I'm going to put the kettlebell to my right foot. And I'm going to turn both of my feet towards the kettlebell. Put my hand on my left hip. And I'm going to kick my hip back. Now, my left leg is going to stay straight. My right leg is going to bend. And I'm going to come all the way down, grab the kettlebell handle. I'm not going to lift it. I'm going to use that handle to pull myself down further. Feeling that stretch in my low back and in the hamstring of my left leg. Come back up. This technique is called the windmill. Now, a lot of people will lean forward this way as they do it. That's the opposite idea. You want to kick your hip back. Imagine you've just gotten out of the car, you got a bag of groceries, and you need to shut the car, but you got your hands full. How do you do it? You kick it with your hip, right? So you're going to kick your hip back. That's the key to this exercise. Tighten your core, kick your hip back, and go down until your hand grabs the kettlebell. Now, grip the kettlebell and push the hip forward to stand up. Kick the hip back, bring it down. Notice the front leg is bent, the back leg is straight. Push your hip forward to pick it up. This is the low windmill. Two more. Set it down.
So what's cool about that is you're not using all of your muscle of your arms or your shoulders.
No.
You're using your hips to pick
Correct.
that up. And it literally lightens the load here. It's like the coolest thing.
Okay. Move it to the other foot. Put it next to your left leg. Turn your feet 45 degrees facing the kettlebell. Put your hand on your hip. Kick it back. Come back forward. Kick it back again, bending all the way down until you can hold the handle. Don't pick it up. Pull on the handle to really get lower. Feel it stretch your low back, muscle called quadratus lumborum, and your hamstrings of your back leg. Make sure the front leg is bent, back leg is straight. Stand back up.
And when you stand up, does this leg that's bent straighten up?
Yes, it does.
Okay. You're basically kicking your hip forward, straightening that front leg now.
Right. But see how your back, look at your back leg. You see this angle of your back leg?
Yeah.
You want it actually angled the other way.
What do you mean?
Watch this. So hold that straight up and down. This is what most people tend to do. You see how my leg is now angled this way? Hold it straight up and down. You want to do the opposite. You want to kick your hip back so that my leg stays either straight or angles back the other way. That's the hard part of this exercise. Come back up. Bring your feet a little closer together. And now think of that kicking your hip. Think of that kicking your hip back in order to. So don't try and lean forward.
Okay.
Don't try and lean forward. Try and kick your hip back, and that will make you move forward. So watch this. Right here. Standing. So I want you to actually pain with your hip. Yes, yes, exactly. It's a very different.
Yeah.
Very different idea than you first think that you should do. Yeah. So we're going to try this with this side now. Okay. So kick your hip back. Down, grab the kettlebell. Push your hip forward to lift the kettlebell up. Kick your hip back to set it down. Keep your core tight. Put the kettlebell to the middle. All right, we're running a little bit late. We've been lathering on, but that's okay. We're going to finish up. We're going to go a little bit over today. We're going to finish up with 50 swings.
Wow.
Okay. 2 feet either side of the kettlebell. Pick it up with 2 hands. And here we go. 1,
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
22. 30. 4. 48. 49. 50. Nicely done.
Woo! All right. Thank you so much for joining us today. 6 a.m. Swingers Club. We'll see you tomorrow.
John Jenkins.
John Jenkins.
Sensei Jenkins.
We'll see you tomorrow morning, bright and early at 6 a.m. for the 6 a.m. Swingers Club here in our studio, which is in our living room.
Absolutely, the living room studio, which is most of you guys where you've been training lately anyway.
Right.
That's one of the beauties of kettlebell. You don't need the gym. You don't need lots of equipment. You need one thing, one kettlebell. It's portable. It's not so much weight that it's going to hurt you. Now, truth be told, once you get it swinging, you have G-forces acting on it, and the weight is actually a little higher than the weight.
Actually, you need 2 things.
What's that?
You need a good instructor that knows what he's talking about.
You do need a good instructor. You can hurt yourself pretty good with a kettlebell. It takes some time, takes some practice, takes some training.
Sensei David Hills is actually certified in kettlebell training, so he knows what he's talking about. And as you can see, he's very knowledgeable about the human body, how it works with the kettlebell, and how to get the most out of your kettlebell workout. So be sure to join us Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. here, 6 a.m. Kettlebell.
YouTube,
Swingers
Facebook,
Club.
Instagram.
Absolutely. And we have some exciting things coming up in the near future, so stay tuned for that. We will be combining the kettlebell workout with breathing, meditation, body tapping, things like that.
Some things from a variety of martial arts disciplines from across the world. We'll be doing some Bagua, some Tai Chi. Yeah, we're going to be putting it together, folks. All right.
Hope everybody has a fantastic Wednesday today. Sending you love, peace, happiness, and joy to all of those who in the world who need it today. Setting our intentions for a beautiful day today. We'll see you tomorrow morning.
See you guys.